and your boy, Kerry Bixby. It's your show. So tell us what you want to talk about. It's that The Round Table podcast show.
Well. Welcome to another edition of At the Roundtable Podcast Show. As you can see, we one person down, but me and Miss Pitbull are gonna try to hold it down with our special guest tonight. So, Mel, how you doing this evening?
I am doing wonderful. It is Wednesday, as I always say every week. It's the middle of the week, and it is the middle of my to get to the rest of the week. So I get to do the podcast with my brother, get to have this fantabulous guest on our show this evening, and I get to touch base with our viewers, who we like to call our family. So I'm doing swell.
Yes. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So, looking up this young lady, it's a boatload of stuff she got going on. So let's not waste any more time and just get directly to it. Shall you do the honors and the introduction, Mel?
Okay. So we have this queen on the show. Yay! We finally outnumber the guys.
Hey, let's go.
But we have this queen on the show. First of all, I love the term that she used on her official page, doctorpreneur. Okay. You know you're saying something when you have that type of title.
Yes.
She is an HBCU grad. She is
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Medical doctor, MD. She is a business owner. And she was able not only to be a business owner, but be a business owner of one of her passions. That's really, really crown jewels right there. And she's also an author. And I know there's probably something else that I'm forgetting off of this list, like
It's a
wife,
lot. It's a lot.
mother. I mean, hey, we're gonna always push those to the top because they outdo everything. You take everything. There's nothing in college that prepares you for that, right?
Right.
But we have on the show tonight Dr. Kellye Hall, MD
Eh,
family.
Thank
Woo!
you. So
well,
happy to
well,
be here.
yes, we are certainly glad to have you. Yes, I mean, as Melissa was going through the different things that you do, it was like looking at a grocery list. When I go to the grocery store, I like had to check stuff off, and
Right.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
like,
I'm an overachiever and I just look for new things to achieve at. That's what I do. It's my pastime.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go ahead and get it kicking there, Mel. You want to throw out the first question for this young lady?
I sure will. So tell me, in case you guys don't know, she's a history maker as well. I'm gonna spread a little bit of
Mm,
your business in this hall, okay, Dr.
mm,
Hall.
mm-hmm.
So she is one of her degrees is from our North Carolina A&T, representing my button as an
And keep
A&T mom for my
on.
baby. And this queen, she was already destined for greatness in breaking down walls and barriers because she was the very first female drum major of that what golden blue
Blue
machine.
and gold marching
So
machine.
how was that as a college student at that time to have that groundbreaking title?
I had no clue that I was the first when I was becoming the first.
Okay.
I just wanted to be drum major because I grew up going to A&T football games. My parents are Aggies. I had two uncles that went to A&T, three uncles actually that went to A&T. My dad was in the band. My uncle was in the band. So I always wanted to be drum major because I was drum major in high school. And I actually went to band camp at A&T for middle and high school kids. And so I met one of the greatest drum majors of all time, Anthony Chris. He
Mm,
became my mentor. And so I just knew that I was going to be drum major. And then got in the band around my second year. I was joking around with the band director. And I said, Doc, when are we going to get a female drum major? And he said, never, as long as I'm band director. And I was like, oh,
mm,
okay.
Challenge
Um,
accepted.
I was like, boom, okay, there it is. But then the next summer, when we had band camp, the first day, he threw me out there with the drum majors and said, give my drum major some competition. And I said, oh, bet, done deal, let's go. So, and it was a wrap from there. But it was the best thing ever. I'll never forget the Aggie Eagle Classic when I got announced as the first female drum major, and I went out and ran out, did a little split and whatever, and just to see like the entire crowd just get up on their feet and like give me a standing ovation, and I was like, this is everything. And so from then forth, I was a gigantic ham and continue to be that way today.
Hey, so give a note to the lady that helped make this happen. Miss Tangi Watts is joining us. Thank you for joining us, Tangi. And she says, good evening, y'all. Good evening back to you. Good evening back to you. And thank you for helping this come together. Now, that is big. What you just got through mention, I don't want to just brush over that. First female.
Yeah,
now,
I found out in band camp that I was the first female drum major. Like, they were like, well, I think you were the first. I'm like, what? Real? Okay, cool. Like, I didn't realize the gravity of the situation at the time. And, I did it before it was a cool thing. Now everybody is getting a female drum major, but I did it when there was not that many. So this is back in the 90s. That's showing my age. But what else? So yeah, I didn't realize it.
So that's big. Now, have you always performed in front of a large audience like that? Was that the first time that you just took it and ran with it?
Well, I mean, in high school, yeah, but it's not that large in high school. But I was always dancing. I did talent shows, was winning talent shows with my best friend, Stephanie Pender, Two Hype Posse. So I loved the crowd. I had a shy side, but at the same time, when I was performing and dancing, I was another personality. Just like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, I call mine Nikki Storm.
Oh.
I got multiple personalities in the full body. That's how I can do everything because there's 5 of me.
Right. That is all right. Renee Crooms, thank you for chiming in and checking in on the show. She says, hey. We also have Miss Terry Digsby joining us. Hey, Terry. Yeah, so that is incredible. So now just to reset, because Melissa mentioned that you're also a doctor. So, what? I mean, just so many things. But let's delve into that a little bit also. So, when did you know that you wanted to go into the medical field?
At the age of 2, believe it or not. My mother tells me that all the time. And so much so that apparently when I was in kindergarten, I was playing with a doll baby. Instead of playing house, I was saying to one of my classmates that I wanted to deliver the baby.
At 2.
What? That particular incident was in kindergarten. But
okay.
My mom says that I said that I wanted to be a doctor at 2. So hey, there you go. There you have it. And I worked towards it my entire life. I mean, I was in multiple things, athletics, arts, band, all that kind of stuff. But I was always intending to go to medical school and be a doctor. That was always the end goal. And that was a God ordained thing.
Apparently so. Apparently so. So Renee Crooms is checking in also, and she says, hey, family. Hey, right back at you, Miss Crooms. I noted that you was also a basketball player.
I mean, back in the day.
Did you have any skills?
I mean, I was like, could you do your thing? I was more of a shooting guard, you know what I'm saying? But I actually was better at running track. So that was like my claim to fame because I was all conference hurdler and 4x1. But I did everything. I played softball in middle school, played volleyball, played basketball. And the funny thing about playing basketball is I played for the girls. And in my senior year, I was on the cheerleading squad too. So I would play for the girls, go to the locker room, change, and then cheer for the boys. So when I tell you I try to do everything, that's literally what I mean.
Sound like Miss Pitbull. I know she got some skills and some things too. Multiple things. Multiple.
Well, as a woman in this world and a black woman on top of that, you have to have, I think, be multifaceted. You have to be able to pivot and maybe have something going on now. Like this morning, I mean, I'm cooking dinner. I threw it in. I said, okay, I'll just make whatever I can cook while I'm doing the show. It'll be done when I get done. Like we are always thinking about the 2, 3, 4 steps because
Yes,
we have to get so much done.
yes.
Um, and so a lot of our viewers are probably like, okay, they're going back so far, but I just want our viewers to understand and some of our younger listeners that no matter what you're doing, um, it always has an influence on what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what seems like fun now and oh she did this, she did that. They may be saying, okay, well, how did that play into becoming your own, you know, dance studio owner? How did that come to becoming an author? How did that play into a part of you becoming a doctor? Having two daughters in college, one's at Fayetteville State, the other is at A&T.
Thank you, Lord.
Talking to both of them, they both had a moment where they were like, "Ugh, I'm spinning out." And I was
Mm-hmm.
relieved when I read that moment where you said you had a moment in your life where you were like, "I don't know if this is what I want to do. I don't know if this is the directions I want to go." So having all of these accolades and success and accomplishments, speak to our family tonight about, if it's okay, what kind of got you to that point and how did you get out of it?
I mean, I'll be honest right now, I was spinning out now. This whole COVID thing, it's you don't sign up for that when you go to medical school. Nobody knew a pandemic like this was going to happen. Nobody knew that many people were going to die from this disease. And nobody knew how mean people will get and how politicized this pandemic is. It's not a political thing. It is literally a scientific illness. And I'm like, when did masks and vaccines become political? What? So yeah, I after the year with the pandemic, I actually had taken over the studio right before the pandemic hit. So I had a whole lot that just came on me at one time. And amazingly, 2020, I was very calm through all of it. And this year, it kind of just came to a head because now we don't know anything according to the general population. Social media is where it's at. People will listen to social media before they'll listen to me, and they're attacking me for trying to tell them what they should do. Like, people need to get vaccinated. Point blank, period. End. That's it. We're not going to get out of this thing until people actually get vaccinated. And so when patients are telling me, well, the studies say, well, you don't even know what the studies mean. Or, well, what's in the vaccine? Did you ever ask what was in the other vaccines? No. Like, so why are you even asking now? But that's why I am taking a step back. And luckily I have the studio, glory to God. We made it through the pandemic. We're still open. A lot of studios are not. So I'm actually taking a pause from medicine for my mental health. And I'm actually going to put more energy into the studio and into my books and into just my brand and becoming me. I think one thing that I learned is that people would always try to put me in a box and try to make me just this one person, and I did it myself. It was like, so I'm the drum major when I'm at A&T. I'm the doctor when I'm in Charlotte, and so I had different areas where I would bring out different personalities, and I decided it's time to stop trying to compartmentalize myself and fit in certain boxes and just be all of me. So we're putting the doctor aside for a little bit, and I'm gonna live out this dancer entrepreneur dream now. So I mean, basically, I just had to take a step back. Sometimes you gotta take a step away from something and get refreshed and renew and get your mental health together. That's a big thing that is now coming out because of Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka. Like it's
Taraji
a
P.
really
Henson,
big
all of that.
thing.
Yeah.
You got to take care of yourself because you will spin out and lose it, and you cannot function if your brain is not emotionally well.
This is true. This is true. And it's so foreign to our communities that it is okay to take time out. I
Hmm.
never forget hearing growing up, born in Pittsburgh, but growing up in Montgomery, and hearing, aunts and even my mother and cousins saying, "Oh, that's that old white woman stuff." Because,
Hmm.
we see on television or you hear them talking, they would go to spas or they took vacations with their girlfriends or they got massages and it was like, "Oh, that's that white woman stuff. That's that." And
Hmm.
we as a black woman needed it more than
Hmm.
anybody.
Yep.
We come into this world guaranteed to suffer with some form of PSTD, like because of our culture, because of the things that happen to us on a regular, because of the
Right.
things that happen in our communities that affects us. And
Yes.
so having that okay and that green light and that education and that knowledge and that encouragement to take care of yourself mentally is key. It's
Yes.
key. It's key. Hey, Money,
Yeah.
did we have a comment?
Yes, Renee Crooms. She states, we need to continue to encourage our youth that there is more. You can and you must be well rounded. Try a new thing, golf, baseball, etc. And she went on to pretty much compliment you with you being well rounded. Outstanding.
Thank you. What's interesting is that actually I feel like the reason I made it into medical school is because I was the first female drum major at A&T. Because when you're applying to medical school, you have to write a personal statement, and so
Mm-hmm.
I spoke about being the drum major at A&T. And in 2 out of 3 of my interviews at East Carolina, that's where I went to medical school, they actually brought that up. And I believe that especially for um, African American, students, we have to prove that we can overcome diversity, and that's how we get into medical school. That's a nugget for anyone that wants to go to medical school. Prove how you can overcome adversity, and you'll get in. Um, but that I think that's what sold them. It was like, oh well, I mean, that was nothing to her, and look at what she's doing now, so she can survive anything. Um, so that's my personal belief. I don't
Wow.
have any proof behind it, but
Mm-hmm.
when I interviewed at Carolina, we didn't talk about being the first female drum major, and I didn't make it in there. I was on the wait list. Whatever, you're lost, Carolina. Um, but that was what we spoke about. So that actually helped me because everyone that applies to medical school is smart, like
Mm.
point blank period. So what new do you bring to the table?
Right.
And that's what I brought.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. I'm gonna make sure I share this with one of my young friends. She's like a daughter slash niece to me. She is going to be 22,
Mhm.
and she's already working on her doctorates.
Nice.
So something in the lab. I can't remember. I'm sorry. So I can't remember what it is. But she's dealing with the same kind of pushback and confrontation with her mentor in the lab,
Mm.
and she's obviously at this stage and in this field, she's the only black girl in the lab, the only African
So let
American
me
young
get my
lady.
memoir girl because I talk about how people tried to direct me along a certain path. Like they tried to, they knew I wanted to be a doctor. So my guidance counselor, white woman, she meant no harm. I think she was truly trying to help me, but she was trying to convince my parents to have me apply to Chapel Hill for undergrad. And I was like, I'm not going there, so why am I going to apply? And my parents, my dad specifically, was like, well, she can go anywhere she wants to, but my money is going to A&T. So it was always going to be an HBCU for me. And I don't think I would have survived at Carolina because they don't speak to me. As a matter of fact, when I got to East Carolina, it was a culture shock for me because now I'd grown up going to historically or predominantly black schools, and then historically black college, university, and then got to East Carolina, and suddenly like it's no one cares all the amazing things that I did, and I don't fit the typical mold of a lot of my peers. Um, But the interesting thing is, a lot of the Black students did go to HBCUs and were in fraternities and sororities. So it helps us.
Right.
But yeah, you don't have to follow this cookie cutter path. You can make it into these higher education facilities by going to an HBCU. You can make it into law school. You can, I mean, the things that people used to say about, oh, don't go to an HBCU because you can't be a doctor that way. Lies and deception.
Right. And of course, because they're going to feed you into making their school successful.
Right. We need to come on back home, Black people. Going back to our schools.
We're gonna touch on some more of your accolades and some of the other stuff that you done accomplished. But I'm curious.
I get myself in trouble sometimes.
It's all good. It's all good. But I'm curious, how did it going to an HBCU prepare you to go out here in this world?
So you have to love who you are first. And in medical school wasn't as rough as residency was. And if I hadn't have gotten strong in who I am as a person, I wouldn't have made it. I speak about it in my memoir about how I doubted myself sometimes because I wasn't doing as well in medical school as I was when in college. Like I was the person leading the curve in college, and then in medical school it's like, okay, well, but now everybody's smart. So somebody has to be towards the bottom. So I was like, you got to the point to where it's like C equals MD, just pass. So that was a whole different can of worms. But just that culture and helping me to build myself up as a Black woman. Like I said, I don't think I wouldn't have gotten that at Carolina. I don't think. And it just being comfortable in who I am is what got me through.
All right.
Go
ahead, Melissa.
Go ahead. I just wanted, Dr. Kellye. I
there you
like
go.
saying
There
that.
you go. There you go.
To talk about her books. I'm actually ordering the 3 bundle because I'm going to gift those out to separate please. And one of them, the memoirs, was the one I was given to the young lady. Like, you gotta have it.
Yeah.
But how did those come about?
The first one actually. So the first one was the North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University edition of the HBCU anthology, the HBCU Experience. One of my sorority sisters, Dr. Ashley Little, Delta Sigma Theta, she actually approached me about being in that. So that was actually the first thing I was published in, and that's bestseller number 1. But that basically was about how our how A&T made us the people that we are. So then the second one was the another HBCU anthology, but this was about alumni band members. So this was not just A&T, but a culmination of different HBCUs, and we spoke about our experience in the band and how it made us who we are. And so then the memoir came about because I had actually been writing that. I was writing that for 5 years before I actually published it. But the memoir came from, I never felt like I was doing amazing things. Like, I just felt like I was doing what I was supposed to do. So when I would tell my story to other people, or, I'd say, I did this, I did that, they'd be like, you do a lot. Like, or like, this is amazing stuff. And I never really thought of it like as amazing. And I was like, okay, well, it's not that big a deal to me. And then I met a young lady in the emergency department. She was working as a scribe. They do charts they're like college students that do the charts for the doctors. And I try to talk to them and just kind of find out, what they're doing with their life. And so I asked her, Black girl, I said, what do you plan to do with your life? She said, well, I'm thinking about going to PA school. And I said, well, why not go to medical school? I said, you're going to do the exact same thing as a doctor, but get paid half as much for it. And she was like, I never really thought about it. So anyone that knows me for 5 minutes knows that I went to A&T. I talk about it all the time. So I would always tell about my experience at A&T, and she was like, well, people tell me not to go to A&T. And I said, who are these people? Have they been to A&T? Are they graduates? And she was like, actually, no. I said, right. You have a whole doctor sitting here in front of you who loved it. So don't listen to them. And I didn't work with her for like months because I worked at a lot of different emergency departments. And then I saw her on a separate occasion, and she said, "I don't know what it is you said to me, Dr. Hall, but I took it to her A&T. I liked it. I applied. I made it in. I'm going there in the fall." And I'm like, "What?" And she actually got a full ride at A&T.
Oh, nice.
Right. Prior to that, she was at Central Piedmont Community College, had a 2.4 GPA, was just kind of making it through. And then went to A&T, graduated with honors. She got 2 full rides to both Chapel Hill and East Carolina. Just graduated from Chapel Hill Medical School. She's doing her first year OBGYN residency. And all because I said, why not go to medical school? So I figured that me just saying those words to her completely changed the trajectory of her life.
Yes.
Imagine what I could do if other people heard my story. So that was the whole purpose of writing the book, is so that people could see themselves in me, specifically Black people, Black women, whoever feels like they're underprivileged, underserved, or just, have an adverse time trying to accomplish a goal. You can get something out of the book. But the whole purpose is so that people can see that I'm a regular person and I was able to do amazing things. And so can you.
Yeah, you did an awesome job. I was reading because I like to find out about our guests. Adrian, A Money, and I both are. We love to figure out, like, okay, what is it? What's that one special thing? What's that one little thing that most people always look at the big shiny stuff? But you are human. You are a person. So with you saying, "Hey, I'm going to take a step back from my medical profession," um, what and how does that affect your household? How does that affect your children? How does that affect your husband? How does that affect, that life? Because no matter what you accomplish out on the field or on television or in your career, you're still a mom and a wife. Like, they could care less about any of those accolades, and not like they don't support or
Right.
celebrate, but like that's their main objective with you. So what and how does that impact your house now?
So I only have dogs. So I'm a fur mom.
Yes.
I don't have any kids.
You're saying fur baby. I'm sorry. You said
Yeah. So I don't have any kids. So I haven't affected them yet. But my husband, he actually is getting a kick out of this. Actually, in one way, he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Because we're real comfortable, okay. But on the other hand, he's like, "Well, because my last day is next Friday." He's like, "Well, I don't have to call you Dr. Hall anymore. Nobody's gonna call you Dr. Hall anymore because you're no longer a doctor." And I said, "Sir, I earned that degree. You will be calling me Dr. Hall until I'm in the grave, sir. I don't care if I never step foot in a practice ever again. I am Dr. Hall from now into eternity." So it's gonna be interesting, actually. I don't even know, because my entire adult life I have been going in the path of practicing medicine.
Right.
So I don't even know what it's like to breathe. Like, I'm gonna have so much time, which is needed, that it's probably going to be a little scary. And I'm just putting all my faith in God, actually, because it's a nice check that I was getting from, I call them my doctor dollars. My doctor dollars was nice. So I am relying on God to provide with my books, with the studio. All I know is he's the one that brought the studio about, number one, because my business partner, he brought her into my life and we just clicked like nothing else before. So I knew that was a God thing. And then just medicine, and especially the way it is now, you start to lose a lot of your empathy. You start to lose your caring and compassion because people will beat it out of you. People are just mean. I can't
mean right now. They are.
Mean some people are. And and I say it in my book, it basically was changing the nature of who I am, just as a person, because I'm an encourager. I'm a bubbly person. I'm a happy person. And a lot of times I can be so defensive and hard-hearted because of people, patients. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to that calm person, because you don't realize like how stress really affects you. Like, so I was in the emergency department for 13 years.
Ooh.
And yeah, don't let the cute little face fool you. She's a little seasoned. But and when I started working in urgent care, suddenly I was sleeping regularly because I didn't have to do night shifts anymore. And I was like, wow, like how was I living like that for 13 years in constant stress? I just learned to function chronically fatigued and on edge. And when I was off, I had to be off for about 2 or 3 days before I could kind of settle down and be like, yay, bubbly. I could always turn it on and turn it off. But if you were in my house, and my husband would tell you, I would shut down to where I'm like, don't talk to me. I just want to sit here and watch TV. I don't want to say anything. And I was mean.
Right.
But to everyone else, because I'm still this person. But at home, I'm turning off all of that. And it was stressful, and it made me a different person. But so I'm curious to see how much happier I can be, because urgent care was like calm, but still a little bit of stress, and it's tiring. So now I'm just going to have the studio, and I'm going to sit outside and listen to the birds and do some more writing. I'm just excited to hear what God's next move is for me. I plan to do a lot of praying and watching some Bible studies and figuring out what God wants me to do next, because now I'm living on his plan as opposed to mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for you. Jeez.
Thank you.
So Renee states living in your purpose is why it seems so normal.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I am. My purpose has shifted, because my purpose was to be a doctor. It may not even been for me. It may have been for the people's lives I literally saved. Or Khadijah, there was a whole news story on her, so she doesn't mind me using her name. But that's my mentee. If I wasn't around, what would she be doing now? Would she have gotten it from somebody else? Possibly. But what if I didn't fulfill my role? Would she have been able to walk into her purpose? So, your purpose isn't permanent. You can always shift it. And God is releasing me from this part of my life and saying, okay, it's okay to go and enjoy your life now, because I've been working my entire adult life. So now it's time to have some fun.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing. Your mental health is important, and it's good that you actually recognize that, even though it's bittersweet too, because the world or the community that you work in is losing temporarily, possibly a good doctor on top of that, and informative doctors too. But on the same token, you do have to look out for your mental health as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that is important.
And you have to be honest about how, when the job is affecting your actual skill set. Because sometimes you have so many people, from doctors to nurses, that they're running on that battery and it's getting dim, and it may be a mistake that may be someone's life, or it could just be you just treat a patient just mean to where it has a long-term effect. But I would like to think that, Dr. Hall, you're exiting and ushering in Khadijah is coming right in for her to take that place that you may feel that you're leaving. She will be that replacement to provide that same healthcare.
See, that's confirmation right there, because that's what I said. I said, girl, it's in your hands now, because I got to go. But I have there's other college students that now are either they're still in college or some are in grad school. And I got a couple that are in med school now. So I still have mentees. And I still direct them into medicine, and I tell them the number one thing you need to do is figure out what your exit strategy is going to be if you decide you don't want to do this anymore, because medicine has changed to where it's hard to be in medicine for umpteen years now. There are so many people leaving medicine. There's so many doctors that have committed suicide because it's hard, and people expect us to be robots. And they expect us not to eat, not to pee. Like, we're supposed to just sit there and serve them. And I'm like, but we're human too. Like, we're not gods. stop thinking that we are. Don't forget, we are really flesh too. So I tell them, either go into academic medicine, whereas you're teaching other people. I have a sorority sister who's in academic medicine. She loves it. Or get your MBA. The other frustrating part of medicine is, and I'm going to get myself in trouble, but I don't care, is that CEOs, business people, are telling doctors what to do. They have no clue what it takes to actually do this on site, to be the person on the front lines running things, and they're cutting staff or cutting staff salaries, so staff doesn't want to work. So, doctors need to be the ones making these decisions and not these business people. So I say go and get your MBA along with your MD so you can be the one that's making these decisions and change the course of medicine, because it is heading in a horrible direction. It's all about money and not patient care.
It
I always
is
come down to
horrible.
that.
It's
I am
horrible.
so in trouble for that, but I'm quitting next Friday. So
You know what?
Hey, tell the truth. Tell the
That's the
truth.
truth. And I don't feel that you said anything that is an opinion. I don't feel that you haven't said anything that is from experience. And so it is true. We all feel the same way. When you're in a triage bay and you're down 6 nurses, 6. That's why is
your
it?
life.
And you have people who aren't educated to know what the medical field needs and have. So they're like, oh, it's the pandemic. They worked all this time. Now they want to quit their job. Like, you don't understand that you worked, 16, 18-hour days, literally. And that is a true hour for a work day for certain people, because they'll go in, they take a nap, and they come back.
You have to be on call.
Be on call. And you risked your life.
And literally,
as soon as March of 2021 happened, really the end of February, your charge nurse was telling you that we are not doing any more increases. We're going to go over performances, and that's that. So don't look for anything for the next 2 or 3 years. No, we're not having any bonuses. No, there's no more of that. And we're cutting days off as far as paid time off. So where you thought you had 10, now you have 5. You tell me why people are like, oh my God, I can't believe they're leaving. They're leaving. They are out.
Right.
They are
like,
leaving.
What? I can be miserable all by myself. I don't need
they're
it.
like, I might as well, if when somebody does the math, they're like, I can go and like work in an office and make this amount of money. Like,
you probably can drive Uber and make more money.
So, people don't understand.
They don't.
The stress that
and
is
then
happening
they're like, mad at us, and because we're mad. Like, you don't understand. I am tired, and you're the 15th person to yell at me today. So no, and I do nothing to you. I just said my name is Dr. Hall, and they're like, "You're not traveling for COVID." Hello, my name is Dr. Hall. Let's start this again. Like, why are you attacking me? And I just introduced myself to you. Like, these things. I'm just like, y'all can have this. I don't want it.
Wow.
Y'all figure out, find some manners, and maybe I might come back. Only if God says that's what I'm supposed to do. Because right now, like I said, I'm following his plan, because, you try to make out your own plans, and then God tells you, no, we're not doing that. And if you keep trying to do what he doesn't want you to do, he's going to sit you down somewhere anyway. So I said, I might as well go ahead while I'm still in his good graces and do what he said now.
True that. Tangi, on a previous comment, she noted, yes, amen.
Hallelujah. Praise him.
Yes. So before segueing into something else, I'm curious, did this disdain towards medical happen during the pandemic, or were you actually seeing a increasing amount of that before the pandemic?
Well, people always, would Dr. Google it. Everyone has their own little Grey's Anatomy degree or what have you, Facebook degree. So it was always there. But because of the last resident of the White House, people now feel that they can say whatever they want to and there's no consequences.
Mm.
And a lot of times that is the case because you get in trouble for disagreeing or trying to do the correct thing for the patients. So all they say is, well, let me speak to your manager. And some people may back down. Unfortunately for them, I was not one of those people. And so they would say, and what's your name again? And I'd be like, it's Dr. Kellye Hall, Kellye. Do not forget the E. So I want you to spell it correctly if you're going to complain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't scare me. Go ahead and complain. I really don't care. But I'm not going to give you an antibiotic and you've been coughing for 2 minutes. No, it's not necessary. Like these are the things that people just don't know. You just wait till I write this book.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I have to detach myself from practice a little bit, so nobody will say I'm talking about them and try to sue me. But it's coming. Trust and believe. It's gonna be a tell-all like a whistleblower.
Oh wow!
Be
we can't wait for that one. Charlie's joining in and she's saying, "Hey, ATRT friendly." I guess
Charlie too.
Randomly. I like it.
Yes. So, curious, dancer, how has that helped your mental health? Getting back into dancing.
Everything. Like without dance, and actually, so I've actually kind of changed my practice a little bit because as an urgent care physician, I'm testing people for COVID like all day. So we do car visits. And my office is in the building is far away from the cars. Not that far, but for 10 hours running back and forth, it is far. So I actually set myself up in the back hallway where all the COVID tests are and everything. And I'm back there by myself. Sometimes the nurse will come back there with me and I play music. And suddenly I am way happier because I'm sitting there bopping to my music and like getting it, like whole routines. Because, I know routines because of my choreographers. So a certain song comes on and I'm like, I can kick a whole 30-second routine, but it makes me happier. And then I am making my nurses and the staff happier because I'm joking around with them and they're just cracking up, laughing at me dancing. So music has always been something that has got me through. I've been dancing since I was little, play the saxophone. So it's always been a big part, and I just never realized how mood stabilizing it was until I got into the dance studio. The dance studio has probably literally saved my emotional life.
If you have not went on Instagram, watch Dr. Kellye, honey. My youngest daughter, who is also the Aggie Pride alum, is a dancer as well. She was on a majorette on her high school team, but she, was like, I don't know about, Golden Delight, So, but she's still a dancer. And so I'm like, Brianna, look. So we're looking at your video. So then I'm in the kitchen like, 1, 2, 3.
Listen.
He's like, no, Mom. Leave that to the doctor. No, Mom.
Well, and I mean, so what's so fun about my studio is, so we play no games. We are industry hip hop. And some of my choreographers have danced for, so I have one that's a former Miami Heat dancer. She's danced with Pitbull, Lady Gaga. I got 2 choreographers now who are on the all-male hip-hop squad for the Hornets. A former Honeybee / Detroit Pistons dancer. My business partner, the founder of Everything Dance District, is a former Bobcats dancer. So we have professional dancers on my squad. But what's amazing is that we teach from beginner to professional. So if you just want to do this as a recreational thing, get in this beginner hip hop class. You are going to have a ball because we are going to encourage you. You would have thought that some of these people had danced for Beyonce the way we cheer them on in class. Okay. It is a mood stabilizer. We are going to make you feel like Beyonce when you walk out of this studio. But yet, if you want to be a professional dancer, we got you there as well, okay? Because my choreographers are professional dancers, and we bring in people from LA, New York, Atlanta. We just had Phil Wright, who has a show on Disney, Disney Fam Jam. Like, he's choreographer of amazing people. We had Shamika Ann, Cisco, Kira Harper. All of those are like, big heel dancer names. We have professionals roll up in here. We have professionals that teach here, but yet we still are open and welcoming to the person who has never stepped foot in a dance studio before, has never taken a two-step. We got you. Anything dance, I got you.
Oops, sound like I'm going to be in a beginner's class.
Let's go. Yeah. Wednesday the 7th, Saturday the 12th.
One more time, Dr. Hall. One more time.
Wednesday the 7th, Saturday the 12th. As a matter of fact, beginner classes in 14 minutes. Oh.
So, hey, you still time to make it.
Right. If you are on 77 right now, listening to this broadcast, turn on exit 7, Clanton Road, and head to NC Dance District. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, I may come down myself. We need
to do this on the air.
Oh no!
I'm coming. I will be there. If anybody is there, I am there.
Hey, Dr. Hall, I just learned recently how to do the two-step. So this is going to be complete entertainment if we would.
It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. Get your best 8 count and go for it. And we're going to cheer you on just like you learned the entire routine.
I'm going to be just like this on Instagram Live, on our podcast page. And I'm going to be like, everybody, check out A-Money. Check out A-Money.
Listen, all you need is a good 4-5 lesson. We do private lessons too, by the way. You need dancers for any gig. We do flash mobs. I actually got a couple of dancers that are doing an award show here in Charlotte tomorrow with a gospel artist. So we do all of it.
Rentals too.
Rent out the studio for your own rehearsal. We do that. You want to do events? We got you here. We got you. Bachelorette parties. Let's go.
One-stop shop. It sounds like.
Oh yeah, we got Karen. My business. Y'all think I'm amazing? My business partner. Her name is Anna O'Boise. Follow her on IG. She has found multiple ways to come up with different revenue streams out of this business. She owns her own printing company, so she prints. Or her company prints our apparel. And yeah, she is an amazing person herself. Y'all need to get her on the show. She probably won't come on the show. She's not like me. She likes to be behind the scenes and producing things. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, lights, camera, action. Let's go. These eyes are made for the TV.
Yeah, we have to work on that then.
She actually, because she did all that because she was a Bobcats dancer. Right. So she was in the spotlight for years. So she's like, I'm good. I can hang out in the back. Nobody needs to know I'm here. Whereas me, because I've been in the background for a while, being a quiet doctor, trying to keep my head down, trying to not make too much noise. Now, like, screw it. Here I am. I've always been here. Let's go.
Hey, Dr. Hall.
We don't have pole dancing classes. We have done some chair dancing classes. But we do have a lot of heels classes too. So just answering the personnel.
I need to get my own.
Listen, my knees are horrible too, but I put on some little compression sleeves and I go for it. Marching band took out my knees.
All strings left out loud.
Guess so you guys know 4109. Is this correct?
Yes.
4109 Stewart
Andrew
Boulevard. Unit A.
You can actually see us right off of the highway. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of traffic on 77. So if you stuck on 77 in traffic and you see this big red sign that says South End Commons, just look to the right. You probably see my studio.
Nice. Give that address one more time, Mel.
4109 Stewart Andrew Boulevard, Suite A, and that's 28217. So
exit 7 off of 77.
Exit 7 off the 77, Clanton Road. Easy to get there. I think I'm gonna have to do a beginners.
Listen, I've actually had some people, one of my fellow partners, one of the doctors, she came, did a beginner lesson, loved it. I've had some of the nurses come and do lessons and like, or not a lesson, but a beginner class, and they love it. And like I said, we do private lessons too. So if you don't feel brave enough to come to a class, then start with a private lesson. But the classes are so fun. Like the group camaraderie, you just love it. You just have to try it.
I might have to start. I might have to start off private.
Hey, we'll do that too. Just give me your points.
Since people want a video stuff.
1, 2, 1.
Right. Okay. She needs your coins. Her $100 are gonna be gone starting next week.
Okay.
Can somebody sign me up for a reality show?
Hey, that's next on the bucket list right there. That's soon to come.
But in a positive way. It's not going to be trashy, okay? It's going to be to show how people can actually be good people and be positive examples to other people and still have fun. And people will watch because I'm an Aggie. For number one, Aggie's going to support anything an Aggie does.
That's right.
And those Deltas too. And those Deltas too.
Right. The Deltas support too. So, I mean, somebody sign me up. Like, I'm gold. Let's go.
She said, I'm ready.
Okay, she knows her words.
So, Dr. Hall,
I refer to myself in the third person sometimes. It's
that's one of the other personalities.
That's
Kellye
Nikki.
Kellye, let's go. So Kellye said, let's go.
Right, that's Nikki Storm. Okay, that's my Sasha Fierce. Beyonce, call me.
So, Dr. Hall, what is one of your favorite things or favorite things to do?
Besides
we know dance. So
like
outside of dance.
I actually like to sit and watch nature.
Okay.
Like I live in the woods purposely because I need to get away from people sometimes. And I have a deer feeder and I have bird feeders and squirrel feeders. And I love nature. I love watching the deer eat. It's the most ridiculous thing, but it's calming and it's peaceful. And it reminds me of like how I take care of these animals. Like God takes care of me. So it's just kind of like a reminder, like they don't have to worry about food because food is always going to be there somewhere for them because God provided it. And I'm feeling that way now in this kind of transition in life. It's like, don't worry about it. He's going to take care of me. I don't have to take care of myself anymore because I'm used to taking care of myself, and taking care of everybody around me. So now I'm feeling him say, take a step back, let me take the wheel for once in your life. Get somewhere and sit down and let me do this.
You gotta say it like Auntie, sat down.
Right, sat down. SAT. So yeah, I love just sitting on in nature when it's nice and warm. I actually like it hot. Because I haven't got my summer tan this year, so I'm a little pale. But
one of our family members said, "Let me find out she's Snow White."
Listen, my husband called me the dog whisperer. And I try to talk, like I literally try to get close to them. I want to feed the deer out my hand, but they don't let me get but about 10 feet, and then they're off. Like, oh, but I wanted to pet you. I should have been a veterinarian, but I couldn't put animals to sleep, so I said I'm not gonna do that. It will make me cry.
Oh, yeah. Charlie said, "Keep glowing."
That's right.
I'm trying, girl.
Yeah. Well, we're getting near that time where I know. Don't make that face. Don't make that face.
I bet y'all didn't know even what y'all was getting yourselves into. I told you it's gonna be fun.
Oh, we're gonna have to have you back on again.
Yeah, she commented when I posted it. I'm like, posted the thing. She was like, "Oh, we gonna have fun." I was like,
"Oh yeah, she likes this kind of stuff." Okay, that's why I was like, "Give me a reality show. You follow me around all day. I am hilarious."
So Charlie said it would happen. Try sitting silent with food in the mug. They will walk up to you.
You know what? I'm actually gonna have time, so I might try that. I'm gonna go sit outside with my mug in the little deer food, and I'm just gonna be like a mannequin. It's the mannequin challenge. Let's see what happens. I'm like,
You're ready. I think you'll find a Bambi or somebody that's gonna come and get a little bit of
right.
the pecans and apricots. And what do deer eat?
That's a good
There's
question.
actually some deer food like that I buy off of Amazon. Oh, I had a whole like gang of turkeys that were like walking in my yard. I mean, it's a crazy.
Really?
We have so many. Like, there is a bear cub running around my neighborhood.
Uh-oh.
Somebody caught him on the Ring, camera. I was like, oh my god, because they're knocking all the trees down, on my side of the
Right.
world for all these houses and stuff. So
Right.
Yes.
the animals don't have anywhere to go. And I was like, yo, if I run up on a bear cub, what in the world am I supposed to do?
I need you to go the other way. That's what I need you to do. I don't need you.
Tell you to
And this
make
is what
yourself big
accomplishment
and
we don't need you to try to do. You just go
well,
on
they
the
tell
opposite
you to
way.
make yourself big and like to try to scare them. I'm like, but I'm so
No.
small. Like,
I need you to go the other way because
I'm a
wherever there's a bear cub, there's a mom not too
right,
far away.
Yeah.
right. I said,
So
what? Yo, what is happening?
please.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna let him eat me.
Okay. We tried after we saw a lady do it on IG. It worked until we scared it trying to do the video.
Okay, so turn my camera on first and just sit there. Got it. I'm taking
Why don't
notes.
you get you a little stand
Right.
you can stay still, but it can catch you feeding the deer because
Yo.
as soon as you do this, they're going to be like, out. I'm out.
Right. So perfect. Go ahead and turn it on and just sit there and wait. Got it. Y'all,
Yes.
if it happens, I'm gonna send the video to y'all.
Send it to us, or if you put it on IG, tag us or tag. We want to know because we're going to definitely put it and be like, family, she did it.
Listen, I'm always overachieving, so that's gonna be my next goal.
Well, send us a video. I don't want to see you on the news. Like, oh my God. I'll be like, oh my God, that looks like Kellye. No.
Yeah. And get you some of that bear away spray too.
Oh no! If I see a bear, because I mean, she's aware of everything around, so
Okay.
I'm gonna catch that way off in the distance. I'm like, oh no, sir, Yogi, I'm out. I'm good, sir. You ain't gotta worry about me. I'm out.
That is too funny. Now, speaking of IG, now we have down in our banner one of the many ways of being able to follow you on your Dr. Kellye. Sonic scrolls again, Dr. Kellye,
So
whall.com.
Yeah, so that's my website. So that is where you can actually purchase my book, and I have like journals and prints, and I got merch. Okay, you can buy a T-shirt with my whole being, my drum major, Dr. Drum Major being. But I got a print. My sorority sister Taiji, the Black Onion, shout out, she is amazing. She did my cover for my book, so I actually put it in a print because I was like, "Ooh, I look like a superhero. I like this." Actually bought it, so I'm like surprised. But yes, and if you buy a book off my website, I'll actually sign it for you and write a little paragraph or whatever. But you can also get it on Amazon, Target.com, BarnesNoble.com. But so yeah, so that's my website. But my IG is, and it's long because people always spell my name wrong.
Get ready,
So
y'all.
it is Kellye. Don't forget the E. How original, right?
It sure is.
KELLYE DONT 4 THE_GET_E. You ain't gonna forget that E because y'all gonna remember my name.
Sure is. I was laughing. I said, and I was actually going to ask you about your IG handle, but you just said why. Because I was like, where did this come from? But
Because it's never spelled right. Nobody ever. It's KELLY, KELLIE, KELLEY. They never think, because I mean it's not typical. But I do actually know 3 other Kellys that spell their name that way. So that's interesting to me. But I had 2 sisters, Kimberly and Courtney. Their names are spelled the same way. My dad, he's a character. He says he has his own clan, the KKK. And his name is Charles, so he calls us Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, so if you can tell where I get all of this glowing personality from, my dad is a character in himself.
It's always a good thing. That is a good thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a Bruce. He's an Omega.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so my mom is a Delta. Like, I mean, I just grew up in this thing. I had no choice. I had a choice, but I mean, it's what I knew. So
Right.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, it has certainly been a pleasure tonight having you on. When I say a complete joy, I mean a complete joy.
it's what God put me on this earth to do, bring joy throughout the world.
Any last words, Mel?
Not from me. I have been. It was everything that I anticipated to be. After reading about you and seeing your work and kind of getting the excerpts from the books, I'm like, I gotta do this. I was so excited to have you on because I knew it was going to be energy. I knew it was going to be pure positive energy, and you are glowing and you are
Thank you.
radiating positive, happy vibes. I just want you to know
Thank
that. So
you.
please stay confident in your choice and in your walk and in what and how you are going to be. And I'm just waiting for like this time next year. I can't wait.
You me too, girl. I'm like, what you got, guys? Because I know you got some amazing things. I feel it in my spirit. Feel it in my shanana. Lord. Don't get me shut up in here.
Don't get A Money so that you know. If you watch some of the previous shows, we call him Deacon Def Jam. So don't get him started. He gonna be
Come
right
on
there
now.
with you.
Nah. Hey,
Because the mean step now.
you know what?
That's the two steps.
You know what?
What?
That's it.
Run around and do it right quick. Ooh, can I get some last words?
Of
No,
course.
we're gonna give you some. Absolutely.
Yes.
Get the memoir. You need it in your life. Take a dance class if you anywhere near Charlotte. If you plan to be in Charlotte, come and take a dance class. And get your vaccine, please. I'm tired of dancing in masks. This face is too cute to be dancing with some cloth mask on or some disposable mask on. You need to see all of this. You need to see my facials. You need to see the eyes. Like, the tongue come out when it's real. You need to see my tongue out.
Well, Dr. We are vaccinated on this show, just so you know.
Hey, y'all are cool with me. We can go hang out without a mask.
There you go. There you go. And on that note, family, hold on for us too, Dr. Hall. And on that note, family, we'll see you back next week. Stay safe. Love you. Peace.